Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here today. New workout. Yeah, I know I look like a goober. It's going to take a minute to break this bad boy in. But the 49ers have put out their official roster for the upcoming season. So right now we're looking at the 2024 to 2025 season. And before I saw this roster, if you were to ask me what my goals are for the San Francisco 49ers this upcoming season, I was thinking Super Bowl or bust. I really look out there. There's some good teams in the AFC. I think that there's good teams in the NFC, but the Niners just got too much star power all over. I was thinking I was going to be a little bit worried about the defensive line with Eric Armstead leaving the 49ers. They asked him to take a pay cut. He didn't want to do that. So they sent him elsewhere. Basically, pretty much really surprised me. A Sacramento guy. I know that everybody wants to make their money while they can. I really thought he would have stayed. They probably thought he would have stayed as well. Wow. The Niners, they really didn't do a lot this offseason. There was a lot of complaining about contracts and money and trying to find a way to get everybody the money that they think they owe. Brandon Ayuk, as of Wednesday this morning, has not signed a new contract. He's on his 5th-year deal. It looks like the Niners are basically telling him that he's going to have to go out there and play for his next contract, and it's going to be with the 49ers. At this point, I love Brandon Ayuk. I just don't see him being a 49er after this season. I think that honestly, he probably feels a great deal of disrespect. I think that there was teams out there that wanted to give him the money that he wanted, whether that was Pittsburgh, whether that was Washington. There's a big deal between making $10 to $15 million a year and making $30 million a year. And it makes sense. The guy's been our number one receiver the last 2 years. Those 2 seasons, Deebo Samuel has missed time both of those years. Deebo Samuel, a lot of people think, is a better receiver. I think that Ayuk is a younger receiver. He's going to make an impact longer in this league. I don't know, but that's hard decisions that they're having to make inside of the office. My biggest thing when I look at it, offensive line. No Trent Williams. Trent Williams wants money. Niners don't have it. I guess he's saying that he feels disrespected. Niners put him on the list, saying that he's not going to play. It is what it is. And you look at that offensive line. I don't know. The way I watch football, when you know your offensive line, they're awesome, and you're sending big thanks to them. But when you really know your offensive linemen's names, I think that you're in trouble. I think that's because you're yelling at those guys that they're missing blocks left and right. I've been a 49er fan all of my life. When we've been good, the offensive line has been one of the best in the league. This offensive line does not look good. I can't even say. I'm worried. You can have Christian McCaffrey back there, one of the best backs in the league. I really thought that he deserved to win MVP of the league itself last year. Didn't happen, but he is the cover boy for Madden. You've got Brock Purdy back there. Both of those guys are going to be hurting behind this line. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no other way to say it. I'm worried about these guys. When you don't get a block here and there, it's hard to run around. And the Niners have had this trouble in the past when the offensive line was big trouble. It's hard to complete a pass because you don't got no time to set yourself up to throw. I was trying to remember, but I think he was back like when we had Michael Crabtree, in the receiver position. We couldn't complete a pass to save our lives back in the day, just because we had no offensive line. It didn't matter who the quarterback was going to be. I'm really worried that that's what the Niners are going to bring. I know that they have great tight ends. They're trying to find the Greg Kittle of the future, and as of right now, they're going to use him as long as they have him, even if it is only one more season. The guy loves to get dirty. The guy loves to block, but the guy's also really good when he catches the ball. We're not looking for him to have 10 receptions a game, have over 100 yards. Most of Kittle's games that you can look at and be like, that was a damn good game for him. You get 2 big receptions out of him. You get like 50 plus yards out of him. He doesn't need to score touchdowns because you got McCaffrey, you got Debo, you got Ayuk. They got a lot of weapons out there. But when you're having to use Greg Kittle to block on every single play, it's going to be bad. And you can go back and you think about Vernon Davis. When he first came into the league, the Niners were so bad that it was you're always looking at Vernon Davis wondering when he was going to start catching the ball, if he was as good as that first round pick that we used on him to bring him in. It was almost like, when is this guy going to start producing? And then once the offensive line came into play, it's like, oh, Vernon can catch the ball. We're damn good. We're all right. I don't know. I mean, defensive line. You don't have Eric Armstead. You still got Nick Bosa. We got injuries at linebacker. We got to heal up. And last year, my biggest complaint about the team was the secondary, and the secondary honestly got better as the year went on. I'll just put it out to you like this. We're going to start out the season Monday Night Football against the Jets. I'm scared of the Jets game. I don't know where we go from there. I don't know where the second game of the season is. But I'm not a fan of playing Aaron Rodgers. It always feels good when you beat him. We beat him a whole bunch in the playoffs when he was in Green Bay. But, I mean, you got to be thinking of the story that, the sports writers are already, just foaming at the mouth to write is, the comeback of the year for Aaron Rodgers, after he gets hurt in the first game after 3 plays with the New York Jets. The Jets were supposed to be like a Super Bowl favorite last year, and they almost made the playoffs as they scraped themselves through the season. But I don't know. I mean, we haven't really seen 49er football. We saw a quarter of Brock Purdy playing with Deebo Samuel, Greg Kittle, but we haven't seen anything out of McCaffrey. We haven't seen anything out of Juszczyk. Ayuk hasn't checked into a game. It's just list after list of question mark after question mark. I kind of wrote off every single thing that happened to the 49ers this offseason and this preseason as like, once we get to actual football, we're going to be okay. But right now, as scared as I was for the secondary, I'm really, really scared about the offensive line right now. That's pretty much the number one with a big, huge circle about it. It doesn't even really sound like the 49ers are calling Trent Williams. And for anybody who says, like, guys can't afford to sit out a year in the NFL, what's this guy doing? He's done it before. That's the reason why he's with the 49ers, is the you're not supposed to say that anymore, but the Washington football team, the Commanders, they didn't want to give Trent Williams a raise. He sat out. He sat out a whole football season and into the next year. And the 49ers made a deal to bring him in because they just knew that they just weren't going to give him what he wanted. We've been damn lucky to have him, but I think the 49ers just know when you look, they ain't got it. And one of the guys that I thought that they were going to cut is Elijah Mitchell. We didn't see anything out of him. He's actually going to be going on the injured reserve for the season. We're not going to see anything out of him, just like we barely saw anything out of him last year when McCaffrey had the year he had. It's crazy. I mean, I guess that he's not going to play. He's on injured reserve, so I guess I don't really know how the cap works. If like insurance picks that up or something like that, but that's the biggest thing I gotta say is that I'm really scared of the Jets game. I'm gonna hope for the best, but as of right now, I'm looking at this team and just wondering, like, yeah, you've got 1,000 stars out there, but you don't have stars at the positions that you need them. We need to put pressure on the quarterback. We need to relieve pressure on our quarterback. And we got to make holes for our running backs to run. We got to give our quarterback time to throw. And I think that's how the Rams collapsed. Is they started paying all the guys they had, and they didn't pay the offensive line. Guys left here and there, and then they just didn't have anything for the they didn't have any room for the running backs to run. They didn't have any time for the quarterbacks to throw. So that's my big takeaway. Hopefully you guys have fun. I'm a hell of a Niner fan, but as of right now,